there is no two ways about it. That was not a good debate for Joe Biden.
Ben? That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis, kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain for what we saw tonight.
It's not just panic, my friends, it's pain. You guys see how they try to brainwash people into worshiping these politicians like they're your family and friends? What's popping? My friends, I have been swimming in an ocean of liberal tears over the last 12 hours. Last night's debate was comedy on a scale I couldn't have possibly predicted. Remember yesterday when we had another banger? We had the RBN roundtable back again. Me, Savvy, Rome, JB on the panel, spitting fire. Yesterday I told you guys, like, man, it ain't about to be shit, man. I'm gonna have this shit as background noise because I gotta see what's going on so I can tell you guys what happened. So I'm gonna have this as background noise. And me and my brother was watching, and I literally had to stop what I was doing. It was literally Biden had one fucking job, my friends. This man had one job, and that is not to appear near death. This motherfucker was on 1 HP the entire fucking debate.
The world, every pharmaceutical company cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
so every day, millions
in the world, every pharmaceutical company cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
so
as they say here, slay king. Go off, king. That's one of me. This man was undeniably cooked, and it's over for Biden. You have massive calls for Joe Biden to drop out now. But before we get into this, I got so much hilarious shit. I gotta introduce our guest here. We are a brother, my dear brother, my hotspot assassin. We releasing bangers after bangers on the daily. I got 4 hotspot videos coming out a day. Niko be dropping bangers too. What's popping, my brother? The amazing independent journalist, killing the game in hotspot with me. Welcome to RBN once again, my friend.
What's going on, man? Look, that was a shit show. That was a shit show. I don't know what else. I don't know how to describe it. I was thoroughly entertained. And you gotta wonder, guys, like, it's like if the Roman Empire had social media. Like, it's like the fall of the Roman Empire, but entertaining and terrifying at the same time. That's basically what we're at.
And trust me, we're gonna have a lot of fun this stream. But there's also gonna be a lot of discussion about what was said. We're gonna discuss the horrific choice that Americans are given: Zionist #1 versus Zionist number 2. But also remember, the world is watching this, my friends. So trust me, we got a lot of geopolitical way to analyze this debate, and I have a lot to say. I want to get to my next guest here, our great friend, our honorary RBN comrade. We had an RBN roundtable yesterday. This is essentially RBN roundtable part 2 because Niko House and Misty Winston are essentially honorary RBN members. So we have another edition of an RBN roundtable essentially. What's popping, Misty?
Good. I'm happy to always serve as the token white girl on RBN. That's my role here. We're gonna have so much fun today. I can't wait. I'm in such a good mood. It's been like a great week for me, and then
I can't wait to talk about
it. Really has,
it's been a really good week for your girl.
Got to come free, and we watched the downfall of Biden happen in the same fucking week, bro.
It's like Christmas and my birthday all at once.
Yeah, no, that really happened.
And we can talk about science too. Trust me, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Also, some celebration. I'm gonna make sure we give Misty her roses and flowers, which we're gonna
sure.
force her to accept as well. But we also have a new guest as well. Someone I followed on Twitter. Someone who does great work on multipolarity, exposing the empire. So this first time we have S.O. Kathan on the show. I appreciate you for joining us.
Hello, folks. Nice to be with you.
Absolutely. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, but trust me, there's gonna be a lot of foreign policy to analyze in this debate as we get through it, because there was so much cope in corporate media, and there was so much shit I could show you guys. But I have a segment from CNN where they talk about how the world is reacting, and they talk about the foreign policy discussion. That's going to be the main focus on what we're going to talk about. But first, we got to talk about the massive elephant in the room, and that is Donald Trump just cooked this motherfucker on live TV.
No, come on. Biden cooked himself. Let's be real. Biden cooked himself.
Actually, no. The real culprit, honestly, is Biden's drug dealer, who is definitely out of a job. Because whatever that concoction they gave him last night, that's supposed to keep him at least aware enough to complete sentences, that shit did not work. So y'all look for his LinkedIn account. All right, y'all go look for his LinkedIn account. 'Cause I'm pretty sure he got some applications coming y'all way.
Bro,
that was crazy.
The Trump team did literally a fucking big brain 3D chess move with had the corporate media upset, because remember how Trump and their team was accusing Biden of being on drugs, and the corporate media was like, how dare you do that? But by doing that, they forced the Biden team not to overdose this motherfucker like he did, like he was during the Bernie debate, right? Like those times where he was.
We remember that. Yeah. That boy was geeked that debate. Everybody, I'm like, bro, I ain't never seen him this sharp in his entire career. All of a sudden, his stutter disappeared that last debate. I remember that. Everybody like, well, that boy is, he on something.
I'll take what he's having.
Exactly. Two.
So I want to quickly get the elephant in the room, and then we can focus on the foreign policy part of this, because this is Biden brains melting, and it's so bad, fam. I got a hotspot video, but I think both me and Niko, we both got shit to say about this. But I'm going to explain how Democrats are literally in shambles, and they're pretty much demanding that Biden leave the race after this now. Even Morning Joe is fucking saying it. That's how you know you're cooked. And this is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why, in Misty, you're right, of course, that Biden cooked himself. But Trump, motherfucking, undeniably cooks him here, and he drives the knife in and makes it worse. But so watch this. Let me get the audio on here. 1 second.
What's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border legally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Just cooked this man alive. Trump did not have a good debate, in my opinion.
No,
he undeniably cooked him here, and I'm gonna explain that here very soon. Niko, Misty, anything you want to add to this?
No, I mean, I actually agree. I feel like Trump has actually had better performances. It felt like honestly, maybe it was because he was so caught off guard by Joe Biden being so like just unaware and lacking a presence mentally. But also, it's important to remember that for whatever reason, this debate, they didn't allow the candidates to have any notes of references to data, like, which is weird as hell.
That's weird as hell.
I need you all to be able to respond with accurate numbers and data, because what they were, because Jake, like, so if Trump would say something, he never rebutted Biden, but if Trump said something that he disagreed with, Jake would come out with some damn data that, like, how is Trump supposed to confirm that and answer if he doesn't know what he's looking at? Like, how is he going to remember every single data point about, his time or Trump or Biden's time as the president of the United States running the country if he doesn't have any notes? I feel like that's ridiculous, just from a perspective of a debater and a public speaker, because I want my candidates to, in this theater, if you will, to be as prepared as humanly possible so that we have clear choices, even though we don't have choices, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was ridiculous to not be able to have notes.
Yeah,
just how bad is it that, like, Trump did not have a good night and he still looks like the superhero of all debates?
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah. Biden's only job was not to look fucking dead. And now all those liberal journalists, all those corporate journalists who were trying to gaslight Americans into
Morning Joe 3 months ago was like, "Oh, he's cogent. He's the best I've ever seen him." And then this morning they're like, "He's over. It's over. Biden's over." I'm like, "Really, my guy? 3 months ago."
For him to say it, Misty. Yeah. I watched that segment this morning. That man took 5 minutes, y'all.
Yeah.
5 minutes of I love him. I ain't never hit that. It was weird as hell because we keep hearing this over like from Van Jones. You know, I really love him. Motherfucker, whoa, that's weird. Like, he is the president. Y'all are not family. Y'all are not friends. Why?
And he's not a good guy.
Yeah. And I also learned that apparently we're all ages. I learned that because when we brought up these same concerns for, I don't know, the last 3 years, we were told we were ageist. We were told we shouldn't judge somebody by it. You know, but this morning woke up, everybody had the same concern. So apparently we have an epidemic of age discrimination that we have to deal with in this country. That
just overnight, suddenly, everybody's an ageist. It's crazy. Listen, people have been trashing me. I mean, something I'm used to, but people have been trashing. I've been saying this, that he would not be the eventual nominee, that he's a hot mess since the day he announced he was running for re-election. And people were like, "Oh my God, you're so dumb, blah, 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 blah." Mm-hmm. And now suddenly everybody's saying it. It's weird, right? How that happens.
All the people who've been smearing people for saying what was obvious about Biden age, their credibility is in the mud. SO Cason, I want to get you in here. Any thoughts in terms of geopolitical politics? Because we're going to talk about how the world views this, because this is embarrassing. Compare Biden to Xi Jinping and Putin, how they speak. No matter how you feel about them, these are undeniably intelligent people. So I know correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're Indian-based. So I know this is a lot of U.S. domestic policies, but what are your general thoughts on what you've seen thus far and what the general consensus on in India or the world stage regarding the clown show they've seen in the United States?
Yeah, it's so sad. It's like the end of the American Empire. It's like going back to the Roman Empire in 200 AD, and then you see all these, total clowns and traitors. I mean, this is not the way you run a nation. Okay, this is worse than a banana republic. It's so shocking and so sad.
Yeah,
a banana republic would definitely be an upgrade. It would definitely be an upgrade because at least the two dictators that are competing could complete a sentence, right? Like at least that. We not even getting that. Like I did learn really. So Trump, he has this rep for being an egotist and not being humble, but I feel like last night he really showed a more humble version of himself because we know this man considers himself to be the best salesman in the world, right? Right? And he's like, "Nah, man, look, this man Zelensky can show up, put 2 feet in DC and leave with $80 billion on a dime. Nah, that's the best salesman in the world." And honestly, I felt like, wow, man, maybe we misjudged him. He really can give credit where credit is due. So I learned that about him, I guess. I don't know. And you can't be president unless your backswing is right.
Oh my God, the golf thing. That started like that and I wasn't watching it live, but like somebody sent me the clip of that because I couldn't watch it live. It's just not my thing. But somebody sent me the clip of that. And I'm like, are we really golf? Like we're really?
Yeah,
this is really?
I didn't have that clip. So there's so many of these hilarious clips that we can watch, but I told you guys I'm blessed because I have an apolitical family, so I'm not cursed with like black liberalism. I know people who have we have RBN all the time who they curse with like black liberal family members. Always awkward to talk about. I never had that problem. I was like, the people knew me as the fuck Obama guy. People were like, man, they really don't like Obama. That's kind of weird, huh? But like my brother, they be around me. Like my brother was watching the debate, right? He was watching the background. He playing 2K. Right, we had it on in the background, right? We hooping, and he just listened to this shit like, bro, we are cooked as a country. And trust me, this man, my brother, is not going to be able to do a political analysis over the military-industrial complex. He don't know anything about politics, apolitical, but he got good fucking instincts.
My friends too. I was just saying, my friends in the group chat this morning were like, guys, look, I don't know if we're gonna make it to next year. I'm gonna let y'all know I love you. I don't know if because this is crazy. Also, can we talk about the fact that like you had to pay effectively in some way, form, or fashion to watch the debates for the future of the future, to select the future president of the country? Does anybody realize how ridiculous that is? Democracy. Hope you can afford it.
Pass it back to Catherine for any thoughts. Is for people who want to say that China, Russia, or any of these countries are harsh authoritarian countries, you guys need to look at what the people are saying. When you look at China, for example, the enthusiasm for the future is sky high. There's a lot of debate on how you can measure the economy, how can you measure how people feel about the government. One thing that people leave out when talking about American politics, when they talk about jobs, all this bullshit, right? Why don't they talk about how enthusiastic Americans feel about the future? Because those polls on Americans are dreadful as fuck. Why do you guys think there's always a doomsday fucking conspiracy theory every 10 years? Because Americans are generally dreadful of the future, which is an indicator of how the government is doing. And Catherine, I'll pass it to you on this point. The opposite is true of China, where the vast majority of the population has an enthusiastic view of the future. They're excited. They think they're about to get flying cars in 15 years. They think like, oh my God, look, imagine what high-speed rail is going to be like in this country in 10 years. So the point I'm making is the difference in enthusiasm in these countries is huge. But do you have anything you want to chime in? And we can do another quick conversation. I got a few more receipts. But Kathy, anything you want to chime in before I pass it back to you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the polls, which the Western the institutions, they go to China and they conduct polls, the government has like 90% approval rate. And if you go to China, and I think that all Americans, they should go to China like at least for 4 or 5 days. Okay, it will blow your freaking mind away.
Go like damn near any other country that isn't a Western country for 5 days, and you'll move. I'm just saying.
Yeah. China is like totally different. Okay, it's like totally different. It's like better than any other country in the world. Okay, so you can go to Rome, you can go to London, you can go to Berlin, you can go to New York, San Francisco, and then you go to Beijing and Shanghai. It'll blow your mind away from the moment you land in China. Okay, so you go to Shanghai. So you go to Shanghai. And you land at the airport, and you step out of the plane, and you see a sign, saying "Welcome to the train." And then you take the train. It's a magnetically levitated train. Okay, so that means the wheel does not even touch the rails. So the wheels.
Boy, living like Wakanda. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so this is like a massive train with 1,000 people, and it's floating above the ground at 1 inch or something like that, and it moves at 450 kilometers per hour. So just imagine going from the JFK, the airport, to Manhattan Center in 7 minutes, boom.
Wow.
And then you land there, and then you go, oh my God, this is actually better than Manhattan. We have these skyscrapers that are 600 meters tall. And
you gotta break that down. Can't you talking to Americans? You gotta break that down.
Americans here.
Yeah, it's 600 meters, man. Come on, bro.
Sorry. Okay, what is the miles? I don't know.
American term.
What I'm saying,
what you say?
Okay, just say very fast. Okay.
I just ordered a new gym shirt that says "What the fuck's a kilogram?"
Yeah. What do you mean kilogram, kilometer?
Give me that into pounds, man, or plates. Is it a blue plate?
Hey, look.
So by the way, so you mentioned the flying cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So several Chinese cities, they already have actually licensed drones that can carry 5 people at a time. Okay?
That's crazy.
Okay, so there are no drivers. You sit in the drone, and you take your smartphone, and then you give the address, and the drone will take you there. And
it's the Jetson.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's exactly the
Our
Jetson.
movies are just
I have to
actually
look
wildly
into it.
inaccurate. We are more futuristic. Like our movies aren't even as futuristic as China actually is, apparently.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Have you guys ever tried to explain for the Americans like high-speed rail to someone who is apolitical? Like I explained to my brother, I explained to my friends. Well, like, bro, you can literally go to like Shanghai, you can go like across the country in China on high-speed rail. Meanwhile, it costs us hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like if I was to fly in LA, it would take so much time. It's so inconvenient. Meanwhile, they got high-speed rail, they can go across the country. They living in the future. They living in what Americans would dream of. And and that's why neocons and why liberals fear them. They fear people seeing alternative mode of production completely smoking what the West producing. But can I give you last thoughts and we go around the panel before we continue?
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad that the U.S., like if you go back 100 years ago or even 70 years ago, so there was, the can-do attitude. They built the first skyscrapers, they built the first subways, and then they never did like an upgrade of the subways. And then you go to China, it's like the subway trains, they go at 120 kilometers per hour. It's like world class. It's perfectly on time to the second. They have windows on the subway trains that have the touch screen monitors. It's just like so futuristic. So what happened to that America? And now you turn on the social media, you see the homeless people, drug addicts, college students with.
We gotta give it to Ukraine, Captain. You don't get it. We gotta give it to Ukraine to defend democracy.
Very true.
Yeah, it's still madness, right? What happened to diplomacy? Why doesn't the U.S. sit with Ukraine and Russia and make peace? Unbelievable.
Peace? How dare you?
Peace is not profitable. Peace isn't profitable. That's just the bottom line is, even if the politicians wanted to do it, right, the companies run the politicians. So they're paying the politicians to not want peace. It's like right now we're running out of money to stay in the Red Sea. So I don't know if y'all heard about the Eisenhower having to be called back from fighting against the Houthis. The reason why is because it's too expensive. But the only reason it's so expensive is because you allow the weapons manufacturers to rip you off. And you allow them to rip you off because they pay you to allow them to rip you off. And then y'all turn around and be like, well, damn, I don't understand why we broke now. What could have possibly gone wrong?
Yeah, so if you look at the Russia-Ukraine war, right? Russia is producing more the ammunition than the U.S. and the Europeans put together. Okay? And Russia is supposed to be this the gas tank with nothing happening, but they have this like amazing manufacturing, and the U.S. has no manufacturing. Why? Because the U.S. is run by Wall Street. And they just shipped all the manufacturing out.
Well, Canton, how is Putin's backswing? Can he drive the ball 200 yards? Because if you can't drive the ball 200 yards, I don't know what that is in meters, so you're going to have to forgive me. If you can't drive that ball 200 yards at Topgolf, then we don't got nothing to talk about. We got to go. We got to overthrow him.
Well, you got me there.
One thing that I also want to bring up, and we're gonna get back on topic soon. I'm enjoying this.
No, we won't.
You know how we are.
By the way, really quickly, people in the comments keep saying I look different. There's several things for that. First of all, my hair is lighter. Second of all, I got LASIK. I don't have to wear glasses anymore. And third, there's been a huge weight lifted from my shoulders, so I probably seem a little less grumpy than usual.
I was like, damn, I don't know. I thought I knew the glasses, but your hair always looks.
Misty is glowing because she should. Happy. And we're gonna get to the Julian Assange thing very soon. One thing I want to bring up before we move on to discussing United States and China. I don't know if you guys saw this headline. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Where you had China here it is. I found it. I can't actually found it. Here it is. We had China that was mocking the United States during the Afghanistan withdrawal because they're like, bro, you guys spend trillions of dollars to replace the Taliban with the Taliban, and China was like, hey, want to know what we did with that money? We lifted a few 100 million people out of poverty, created high-speed rail, and literally completely changed the game on infrastructure. Gave health care, gave people a higher quality of life. Meanwhile, we got the Taliban for the Taliban, and like Captain said, we got drug addicts in the city and millions of people homeless.
Don't forget. They also took our jobs too while they were doing all that, right? It's like y'all dumbasses gave us y'all money to beat y'all at everything. That's crazy enough, right? Like that's the wildest part about the whole thing. It's like they're like, man, how can we have let China get so powerful? Let China get powerful. Y'all gave them the money to do it. At one point, the U.S. economy made up 1/3 of China's economy. That's insane. They're like, I don't know how we got to this point, man. That's crazy.
But guys, we're the greatest country on earth. Don't be silly.
Anyway, they were on Chinese social media cooking. You had the government making statements. You had Chinese TikTok stars blowing the fuck up. Bro, they was releasing bangers. That's just from what I've seen. I don't even have the access to those things. Let's see what leaked in the United States. Chinese social media users mocked the United States troop withdrawal in Afghanistan. And that's just one of many. You guys know the Americans are shielded from this kind of stuff. But when do you guys think they talk about in China state media, the press TV, or Iranian state media? Nigga, they are cooking the United States every day. They're showing the Biden debate. They're showing Kamala. They're showing Nancy Pelosi. They're showing Dianne Feinstein. They're like, yo, this is one of the most powerful senators before she died. They want to show how incompetent our leaders are.
Yeah. It's a sad day to be. It's a sad day, man, to be like today. Just I gotta go out in public, man. My stepson got a birthday party to go to, and I'm gonna have to answer questions in Portuguese at that about how we got the spokesperson for Hoveround as president for the last 4 years. I'm gonna have to answer that now. It's gonna be an embarrassing day. I'm like, no, I don't goddamn know. I don't know what to tell you. I can't answer that question. Nobody did it.
I love this meme.
Exactly. Yeah, that's us. That's everybody.
Yeah,
fucking cooked. Like, big shout out to my friend Monka. And this is what my brother was. This is what I was saying earlier. My brother, apolitical as fuck, haven't paid attention to one damn thing that happened in this election. Just listening to this shit in the background as we playing 2K. He's the same. We just in dread, bro. Like, bro, I can't believe how fucked we are, bro.
All you can do is play 2K nowadays, man. That's all you can do is get up like.
Niko had the right idea. Niko went to Brazil. I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna brush up on my Portuguese.
Hey, look now. I'm trying to tell you. Everybody like, damn, bro. Like, did you know? I said, yes, I told y'all what was coming. I talked every single day about what was coming. Y'all thought I was.
Yes.
I was going. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all. I'm out. Like, I didn't get shit. And look, and I'll tell you how fast I learned Portuguese. Joe Biden, I gotta give my props to Joe Biden because he was so bad that I learned how to speak fluent Portuguese in less than a year. So, like, hey, props to you, Joe Biden. You were one hell of a motivator. That's for damn sure.
Captain, is there anything you want to add before I'm gonna get back to my presentation? Always fun conversation. I'm gonna get back to my presentation. But anything you want to add regarding anything we said before I get back to a presentation?
No, I'm good.
All right, so let's continue. So just to recap what I covered thus far, here's Trump cooking Biden again. For the people who are just now joining the stream, big shout out to A1 who is joining. Now we got about 1,000 people watching on X and YouTube right now. Let's watch this clip, and then I'm gonna show you guys the liberal. I've been swimming in liberal tears, and I unapologetically do so because my job is to expose the clown show known as electoral bourgeoisie politics. So whenever there's chaos, it's my job as a Marxist to expose the inherent chaos of this system, and we have a fun time doing it at the same damn time. This is nothing but hilarious to me. Our job is to take advantage of the chaotic structure of the capitalist system and expose how ridiculous it is to our brothers and sisters. And we can have a fun time doing it at the same time. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And I despise the liberal class because, hey, guys, who stopped Medicare for all? Was it Donald Trump or who? It was Joe Biden. It was the Democratic Party that stopped you from having health care, my friends. It's the Democratic Party that arming Nazis in Ukraine. It's the Democratic Party that funding the genocide. You should despise these people. Joe Biden is the butcher of Gaza that murdered children. He should be embarrassed like this at a trial at The Hague. I want to see this motherfucker stuttering and having mental breakdowns in front of an international court of justice. This is the best scenario for him.
Goddamn, man. Shit. Hasn't the man suffered enough?
No, he hasn't suffered enough. There's not enough suffering, Niko. There's not enough suffering.
Van Jones loves that man, though. I don't know why. He said he's a good man. That racist, segregationist, sex pest who literally sexually abused Tyra Reid and probably his own damn daughter. The guy who doesn't want his kids being raised in a racial jungle. That's a good man, Van Jones.
Yeah.
That's a real good man.
Captain Crime Bill is a good man.
Captain Crime
Van
Bill.
Jones.
Okay. Yep, and Captain Coon cheering him on. Go ahead, man. You good.
Here's the clip of Trump cooking them again. I'm gonna get through this. We get through this presentation.
We never get through anything.
What's happening? It's changed in the way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
what's happened?
Now that was like the perfect thing. Here's the quick clip. I couldn't find this earlier for some reason. Here, where he said we finally beat Medicare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Yo,
I died.
I don't know about y'all, but I was relieved because I didn't even know we were fighting against Medicare. So like, I'm really
another war, I guess.
Yeah, like I'm glad we eliminated that threat so efficiently before I even knew we were fighting Medicare. I'm glad we won. That's dope. Good job, bro.
Trump was super subdued last night. I don't know if it was because of the format, because there was no studio audience, so he didn't have anything to feed off of because he's a narcissist and he loves that supply. I don't know if it was because
had a good strategy.
I don't know if it was because like the mute button thing. Like I think his son even tweeted like he likes this format because it's keeping Trump. I think he said disciplined or something. But he was very subdued.
Really?
Like,
yeah, that was actually a strategy.
Trump. I think it was Don Jr. said that on Twitter. I think he said that this format is. I like this format for my dad. It's keeping him disciplined in something else. I forget what he said.
That's actually a surprising lack of, or excuse me, a surprising like display of self-awareness.
Right.
He's like, yeah, no, that's motherfucking needs this shit. I know my dad. Don't give him an audience, please.
Yeah.
Trump is up in the polls, so there's no reason for Trump to do anything crazy. So the strategy for Trump was to let, especially when it was clear early on. Maybe it like Biden had strong performance. Maybe Trump would have been more aggressive. But once it was clear, because Biden started struggling immediately. Trump there's no reason for me to do anything crazy that will draw attention away from Biden. That's what he did. He executed the game plan, and he destroyed Biden, essentially. Here's the Medicare part. I don't know what happened to the other clip. Here it is. Let me know if you can hear it. I think there's audio issues, but let me know if you can't hear it.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think this tab is having. Let me see if I might have to reopen this.
Hey, if you send it, I think I can play it.
Here, let's try this. Let me know if you can hear it.
No.
Well, that's the I beat Medicare. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hey, send it to the private chat, and I can present it.
Yeah,
because that's just hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I died. I died.
I'm glad that you can do that. Here, there's a link.
Got it.
And then I have one more funny video to show you, and then we're gonna get to the foreign policy angle of this. Feel free to share.
Which is not good.
Oh yeah, that's when we're gonna get to. We're having fun right now, but that's when we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of how depressing and how bleak our situation actually is.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Niko.
Single
there it is. I can hear it.
Person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you.
So inspiring. You guys not inspired?
President Biden, President Trump.
You're not inspired by that?
You guys. This is
Abuse Day.
No,
ironically, was just like 2 weeks ago, guys. He
stop. Wait, did you guys see that Beau Biden, when he was Attorney General in Delaware, made a PSA about elder abuse?
No.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. You can play it. It's hilarious. Somebody just did the audio with like this footage of Jill Biden like parading her husband around. It's seriously. I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. But also, guys, this is what I've been saying for a very long time. This is the president of the United States of America. I don't know if anything could make it more abundantly clear that it does not fucking matter who the president of the United States is. This guy is making 0 decisions. None. Not a one. None of them do. They're nothing more than puppets for power. And I don't know if that could be made more clear. And I hope people are starting to realize that this guy is not in power at all.
I don't think that he was the one who made the decision to run again. That was it.
I'm glad, Misty. I'm glad you made that point because that's going to be a big theme of the foreign policy segment coming up. Because the question that a lot of world leaders, bro, because you think it's better in the United States, bro. They watching this in the UK in shambles, nigga. They are roasting this man, and they're gonna show you. They're gonna show you in this segment. I'm gonna show you here later. They are roasting Biden in the UK media right now, probably worse than the United States media.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Nick. I just sent you the in the private chat the link to the guy who did the audio with the audio overdub of the, and then there if you want the actual original, that's also still available on YouTube. It's hilarious. All
right, cool. I'm gonna play this first. Listen to this because this was right after the debate where Biden and Jill didn't realize how horrible it was going for them, and this is the most cringe shit you will ever see, and you see this repeatedly. Well, Jill Stein. It's Joe Biden. I apologize, Jill Stein. Fake doctor, Dr. Joe Biden, the fake doctor. She talks to President Biden like he's a toddler. Like I'm actually sure that Niko probably talked to his child.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, Joe. You answered all the questions.
I talked to him. I was embarrassed, honestly. I was like, yo, I don't even talk to my 6-year-old like that. That's wild, dog. Like,
yeah.
And she thought that. Please play. Please play.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all
the audacity for people to cheer for that. The audacity.
He smiled the same way like a toddler.
Yeah, I did.
Like,
yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mommy.
No.
This guy got the nuclear code. He got the nuclear
That's so crazy. I can't believe that shit.
It's so embarrassing. Have you ever been more embarrassed to be American? I've never been. I'm embarrassed daily.
Straight to jail for elderly abuse. This is abuse, y'all.
Yes.
After he goes to jail for war crimes, though, I need him to go to jail for war crimes, and then y'all can send her to jail.
Yes.
Hey, question. Because I didn't watch the whole thing. Did they even bring up Assange?
No,
of course not. No.
He didn't take that W? That's crazy. Boy, his team is dumb. And I do mean like CNN too, because that's like part of his team. So they should have gave him that W like they did with when they commuted the sentence to Chelsea Manning.
Yeah.
But dumbass going dumbass, so that's what it is. That would make them good strategists, I guess.
Right?
Bro, I'm sorry. This version of the video that zooms in on Biden is so fucking hilarious. This motherfucker's literally a toddler. People think this is the guy who's going to be the mastermind behind defeating Xi Jinping and Putin on the geopolitical. This motherfucker look like he's ready for an ice cream cone.
Yeah, I almost don't even worry about going to war like that. I used to be very, very fearful that, the United States could end up in a full-fledged war. But then I'm like, damn, Xi Jinping and Putin are a little bit more, they're a little bit more empathic, empathetic. Like, I don't feel like they would feel okay with going to war with a senile, demented man with the brain capacity of a toddler. I feel like they're just like, yo, man, let's just wait till we get somebody who we can actually hate and not feel guilty about it. Like, because you can't go to war with a toddler. That's basically what it is. This is crazy. The smile.
So we now get
into he walked off stage again too.
Yes.
Again.
I gotta get back to the presentation because I want to make sure we get to the foreign policy part because we just now get into the liberal meltdown part. This part is going to be too long, and I'm going to show you guys how the world leaders are reacting. This Mehdi Hassan, if you guys want to see an hilarious timeline from last night, you want to know who had a complete and utter meltdown?
So many people.
Many of some one of those people that was saying,
it was
like,
too many.
Many was one of those people that was saying, "Oh man, all these people that fear mongering over Biden's age, that was wrong." And he even released a video that said, "Oh man, I was incorrect about that. I'm one of those people that now believe that Biden's too old, he must drop out." This motherfucker was having a meltdown on the timeline, like many other people, because he's a big genocide Joe Biden supporter. He's the worst of them all. You guys don't know that, right? The people who vote for Biden and don't know Biden's sins, they're just ignorant. I kind of feel bad for them. They're victims of propaganda. The people like Mehdi Hassan, who pretend to stand for the Palestinian people, who pretend to speak out against genocide, but still endorse genocide Joe.
Lost his job. Bro, lost his job over the shit that he disagrees with over Joe Biden. And then but I'm going to still vote for that man. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Mehdi, the most incoherent and ignorant man to ever run for president, is getting the better of the sitting president. What does that tell you, Mehdi, and Democrats? That someone who I think is dumb, like Trump, can consistently outclass your guys' politicians. The same way he outclassed Hillary, he outclassed Lil Marco, all the Republicans, he outclassed Joe Biden, and I do not think highly of Trump. I think he's an idiot. But what does it say about you guys that you guys can't fucking beat him? But let me continue.
What does it say about us as a country and our political system? And I've said this a million times. What do we have, like 336 million people in this country? And these are our two choices. I mean, y'all, it's broken. Tear it down, start over.
He was confused, guys. If you read the tweet again, the most incoherent and ignorant man to ever run for president is getting the better of the sitting president. Maybe he maybe he was under the volition that maybe Trump is a sitting president.
Yeah,
and Biden is the most,
because that first part there could describe either one of those two guys.
Maybe that was what it is, guys. Maybe he hasn't switched sides. Maybe he's a
Look at the last line. Look at the last line of the guy who's mad that the person who's committing a genocide is getting embarrassed. This is bad, bro.
Yeah, the genocide's not bad.
Look, go ahead, Catherine. I want to get Catherine in here. Catherine, you have
because it's weird. The whole thing is because the most incoherent and ignorant man to ever run for president. Okay. But he's only getting the better of him because of the incoherence of Joe Biden.
Yes.
So, is he really the most incoherent and ignorant? Because that's an argument. Because Trump didn't do as well as he has in the past. It's literally because the guy you think is the most incoherent is actually not the most incoherent. You were cheering for that man. You plan on voting for that man. That is actually the most incoherent. And,
I want to get Catherine in here too. Catherine, anything you want to chime in on?
Well, I just want to get you with your guys' feedback on who they're going to replace Joe Biden with, because it's for sure that he's gone.
Newsom or Hillary, I think.
Gavin or Hillary.
I think Gavin was there. I think Gavin's the most likely choice. He was there. If you look back at the past several months of mainstream press, there's been hints dropped. And I think that's something that I think he's probably first choice. I do think they're going to have a really hard time installing him over a woman of color. That's going to be a very tricky sell to their base. Their base will buy it regardless. They'll do whatever they are told. But I think that optically speaking, putting Gavin Newsom in front of Kamala Harris is a problem. But they can sell Hillary on the fact that she is a woman, first of all, so she checks that little box there, but also because she has experience. So I think she's also top of the list. I think it's between those two, my opinion.
I think it'll be Hillary. Hillary. I think and then next in line is Gavin. Yeah. The reason why is partially because, like you said, they're not going to let a white man come out of nowhere and step in front of Kamala, especially from the same state. It doesn't give him any, and it also doesn't give him any strategic advantage putting Gavin in front of Kamala. Secondly, so there's been a consistent pattern since the late 80s, early 90s, since Bill Clinton. They always had somebody from the Democratic Leadership Council as the president or vice president on the ticket in some way, form, or fashion, even Howard Dean. And the reason why is because the DLC is effectively who actually controls the politics, the international relationships. They're the ones who keep people out of jail for engaging in the corruption. They're the ones who prop up the Atlantic Council that were engaging on stuff in Ukraine. So they have to have somebody to do that. And the truth is there's so many Democrats engaged in so much corruption that they need a security blanket to make sure that they can still be protected because of the clout and power that said candidate has. Gavin has not created that power apparatus and that level of protection that Hillary has. So the delegates, especially the super delegates, who are usually the ones who are most culpable for the corruption, they're going to galvanize behind Hillary. And it is possible because everybody keeps forgetting. First of all, like DNC for all lawsuit, your fucking vote doesn't matter. They're going to wait to the convention, which benefits both Hillary and Gavin, because they don't want to have Gavin Newsom come too early because he'll get exposed too fast. He'll get everything that he's done in California. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll have to wait to the convention because it's too late at that point. Yes.
And let me say this, because obviously we think I think they're leaning towards Hillary. And a lot of people are putting Gavin Newsom now. Can I say this? Can I I'm sorry to be the asshole in the room. Can all the motherfuckers saying Bernie Sanders, can you guys shut the fuck up?
Oh my God.
Can you guys please shut the fuck up? Guys, Bernie Sanders was trending last night because all these
That's not surprising from Jen, though. Come on.
Who are still pushing the genocidal Zionists who waited till Israel killed 30,000 plus Palestinians before he had the nerve to call for a ceasefire. He said Israel should finish the job. He was praised by fucking AIPAC, and you still got these frauds calling for Bernie Sanders. We wasted $300 million of U.S. working class money on this motherfucker only for him to sell out to neo-Nazis in Ukraine. You motherfuckers want to do it again?
And he's older. He's older than Biden.
I don't even care about him being older.
I don't either. But I'm just saying, like, if that, like, that's the concern is Biden's age, right? And like you're talking about
it's mental health. Technically, everybody's.
No, I get that, but
it's mental health.
Yeah, I get that, but again, not surprising from somebody like Jen.
Christ.
Not at all.
It's not for Jen. No, Jenny gonna ride that Bernie. You know, that's the only reason she's even relevant. She rode the train to Loserville, and then sold everybody out down the river whenever, because she thought that everybody's going to flip for Biden, like, because that's what she witnessed in the past from the TYTs of the world. But yeah, fuck that. The audacity. We just saw Bernie had a single iota of power for the first time in his life under the Biden administration. With a senior level,
nothing.
Worse than nothing. He did worse than he made everything worse. He was part of the problem.
Yes.
Democrats had the House and the Senate. They had the House and the Senate. And what the fuck did Bernie Sanders do with that? He waited till after they lost power and then like, I'm gonna introduce a Medicare for all bill again. I'm gonna doing what he always does. Like, fuck that. Bernie showed that when he has power, he's actually more problematic.
Well, it's these same people, bro. These same people who still believe the Democratic Party as that project is done, my friends. And speaking of Cenk Uygur, because this is all the viral tweets I've been saying, like, bro,
I can't believe you're not blocked. How are you not blocked? I've been blocked for years.
I'm blocked by everyone for TYT. Cenk actually doesn't block a lot of people, to his credit. That's why he gets raised.
He blocked me.
They block and unblock me.
You think of like Anna, Emma, and the entirety of TYT network block people too. Cenk credit. He get ratio lock. He actually doesn't block. At least not me.
I am blocked.
Yeah, Misty done.
Misty done. But Misty get blocked by everybody. What you mean?
I do get blocked by a lot of people.
I get blocked by a lot of people, but Misty be getting blocked. They be hosting block parties with Missy's face out there.
All right, so this is the last thing. Let me show this, and I want to get to the foreign policy segment because we have a lot of fun. We can get to.
You've been saying that for an hour, Nick.
Well, I'm trying.
I know. You got Nick. Listen, Nick, Niko, and Misty. And I feel really bad for Canthan because he's here with the three of us. And it's always a rant fest. And my guy, you're just going to have to like tell us to shut the fuck up so you can talk. Because that's how it works around here.
It's kind of Nick's fault. Like, you can't invite the king and queen of ADHD of the independent media space onto the same show and then be like, yeah, we're definitely going to get everything done. Definitely going to get everything done. Right? Like, no.
I already knew. I feel bad for Kenneth. I already knew what was popping, but hey, man.
Yeah, I feel bad too.
Anything you want to add to this conversation before I move on? We almost get to the foreign policy. That's the reason why I brought Kenneth on for the foreign policy segment. This segment's going pretty long, but anything you want to add before I continue?
Okay, so I'm just thinking that the oligarchs who are actually running America, as Misty pointed out, they've already decided to get rid of Biden. And I think they're going to bring in Trump and that will give them the excuse to shut down the war in Ukraine, and they can just blame it on the Democrats, because they really thought that they could use Ukraine to bring down Russia and do a regime change and get rid of Putin. Such delusions. But now that it has failed, if they bring in Trump, that'll give them the exit, and then they will just blame Trump for ending the war in Ukraine. But I think they're going to start focusing on the war against China, because that's the big prize.
There's a difference?
And that's, I mean,
you think there's a difference? Honestly, I don't feel like there's a difference between the two, honestly, in the way that they view them. Because of
China's the final boss.
Let Kenton finish.
Yeah.
Let him finish. Let's let Kenton finish.
Yeah, because if you look at Russia, it's not really a threat to the U.S. or to Europe. Okay, so it's like a $1.5 trillion economy, and Russia wants to be friends with Europe, and Russia wants to be friends with the U.S. If you listen to Putin all along for the last 20 years, he always spoke about the U.S. in a very respectful manner, and he would say that our partners in America, they want to be friends with Europe. They want to be friends with the U.S. It's a very natural thing.
I think he wants an amicable, bilateral relationship. I'm not sure if friends would be the right word, because you don't got supersonic missiles prepared for your friends to come over.
They would be friends if NATO would not be barking at their door, right? So in 2000, Putin met with Bill Clinton, and he said, "Can Russia join NATO? Because then that would totally get rid of all this the conflict. Then we will all be in one family." But the psychopaths who run the U.S., they want the conflict between Russia and Europe because that is the sole justification for NATO, right? So if you have a psychiatrist, he doesn't want you to be happy, okay? He wants you to be sad, so you'll keep going to the
only in America. It's only American medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem with... that's the problem with NATO, because if there is peace, there's no need for freaking NATO. So they deliberately create conflicts, which generates a lot of profits, and that's also how the U.S. is able to control the Europeans. So now that's like a vassal. And the same thing happens in South Korea and Japan. The U.S. has this huge the military base, and they want to oppress and to colonize Japan and South Korea. So the way they do it is to have North Korea. So they poke North Korea, and then but North Korea starts to growl, and then the U.S. tells South Korea and Japan, "Oh my God, North Korea is going to nuke you. So we need to control you. We need to rule over you. We need to spy on you. We need to suck your blood on the corporations so that if you are a slave, you will be a slave, safe. You'll be a safe slave under American empire."
That's well said. And we gonna get to a lot more foreign policy. There's one more thing I absolutely have to show you guys. The next clip is we're gonna talk about the foreign policy, what they actually said. And obviously we had an election between two Zionists. They're running on who's gonna bootlick Israel the most, who's gonna wage the most war. That's the choices. You have Zionist number one, Israel bootlicker number one, Israel bootlicker number two. Someone who do you want to serve Netanyahu in the Israeli government? That's the American choice. And meanwhile, the person who actually take this shit seriously, because I saw this stream is popping. I think I missed it. Look, we see a few liberals looking at because the title of the video where it says RBN decided to have Trump back in office. Like, nigga, if you are invested in this any way, shape, or form, these are two genocidal monsters
It doesn't matter.
I'm rooting for chaos. I want Americans to wake up on how ridiculous this shit is. So when you have Obama, if you have a Barack Obama, someone who can button up and is good at shielding the illusion of the empire, that's bad. That's not good for us. I want someone like Trump. We want these idiots like Biden to expose to the normie how incompetent our country is, how the empire has no clothes. And that's exactly what happened. Meanwhile, people like Cenk Uygur, and I'll pass you right to a panel. Trust me, I just want to make sure I get through this. People like Cenk Uygur actually take this shit seriously. Like, he actually you're gonna lose
Nowadays system.
I mean, it's part of his grift. He's got to.
You remember that debate I did against Ben Burgess, which is hilarious in hindsight. So I and Dr. Ben Burgess had a debate about whether or not leftists should vote for Trump in should vote for Biden in 2020. Yeah, and I told him, you do know that, but Biden is the fascist that we're not going to be allowed to fight. Biden is the fascist going to put y'all to sleep. Like, I don't like Trump, but at least we all have an agreement for the most part that we can recognize him as an enemy, and y'all will be galvanized to fight against him as such. Rather than Biden, who literally sent y'all motherfuckers a brunch, and we ain't seen y'all since.
Yeah,
that's a great point, because if Trump was in office, you would have the same liberal wine moms that are calling pro-Palestinian protesters terrorists. Like Morning Joe Scarborough, the wine mom liberals, they call them protesters and students terrorists. If Trump was in office, these motherfuckers that would have their picket signs, they was like genocide Trump.
Where that AstroTurf Antifa at? Where's I call it AstroTurf Antifa because there is a difference.
Yes.
But like, where's the AstroTurf Antifa? I literally was saying over and over again. I said it during the debate. I said, y'all do know that Antifa, or at least the version that we've become familiar with, they're disappearing. They're like, what do you mean? Why would they disappear? I'm like, because they're not the ones that have been propped up in front of us that had this cool massive coordination out of nowhere. They're not really Antifa because there is a history behind the actual Antifa. That's a whole different conversation. But so that's not. They showed up when Trump got here. I said, but them not being here during the Biden administration means that they somehow believe that fascism has now been defeated, which means that group was never ever Antifa. Really?
Yeah, true. I didn't get to this clip. I really didn't get to the clip. Let's get to the clip and then we can analyze afterwards.
Time to split screen is killing Biden because he's got his mouth open. He looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in like disastrous shape. Those are going to be played 1 billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head.
That's like the only thing I ever heard Cenk Uygur say that was actually kind of fucking funny. I
know, right? No, it's crazy when you tell the truth how good it comes out, right?
You ever heard someone you don't like say something funny as shit? You just sitting there like
damn it. Yeah, Obama. Obama always makes me forget I hate him, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's like my biggest But
also remember that Cenk Uygur's been pushing Joe Biden despite the fact that he has obviously been cognitively impaired for the entirety of his presidency, the entire time he was running, and Cenk pushed him anyway.
Yep. He's like, oh, man, it's a disaster.
Great for you for finally coming around, my guy. A little late, but good for you. 90
minutes? You think the last 90 minutes was a disaster? What the fuck you been at for 3 years? Where you been for 3 years? Been that way.
It doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump. You would have to be even crazier than Donald.
You guys, just real quick, I'll let the video continue. You guys see his main priority is not stopping the genocide. It's not providing the material conditions to the working class. It's defeating Trump. Everything else that's important to actually matter in your life is to the wayside. He's willing to support a genocidal monster in order to defeat Trump. They have no moral conviction. They have no value. But let's continue.
Donald Trump to think that this thing is over. I'll guarantee you this. I would bet show me a Democratic politician, and I will bet them any amount of money that Joe Biden's going to lose this election if he's the candidate. It's a guaranteed loss. You're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetimes? You're telling me that democracy's on the line? And you're going to put on a guy who can't even talk, who can't even sit there and look normal. This thing's a bloodbath. He's going to get annihilated. That is, okay, now the Democrats have to decide. Are they happy to lose? Are they willing to lose? Because this is a guarantee.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
this is so much worse than my worst nightmares of what it could be like.
What's his name? Is that John? What's his name? John Ayadol. What the fuck?
That's John.
I haven't watched TYT since like 2015. What the fuck?
Hey, man, these motherfuckers slowed out and became Rachel Maddow in real time.
Dog.
Wow.
Kyle inspired him, man. Kyle inspired him to be his true self. You know, Kyle became the real Slim Shady. Like, you know, John was inspired to become the real. I don't know what the hell this is. But that's.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, bro.
I don't like the judge.
Bro, these motherfuckers get money. Bro, these liberal motherfuckers get money and they turn to Rachel Maddow. This is the same thing that happened to Kyle Kalinske. What the fuck?
Yes.
Let's continue now. Let's get some, and we save our thoughts till afterwards. Let's finish. Just for a second time. Sorry, God, but just for a second time.
The visual stuff is obvious. The staring off, the looking down. It looks terrible. His voice is so utterly weak and feeble. And honestly, like that immediately hits you when you see him, but what he says and what he doesn't say on the most important core issues of the election are even worse. Trump won on abortion in the debate. Trump comes out of the January 6th stuff looking fine. He comes out of the criminal conviction stuff looking fine. Joe Biden looks worse on democracy after that. He looks worse on criminality after that.
Oh shit.
Bro, I told you. They are in absolute shambles. That's why I wanted to play that. We can begin to move on, but I want to give you guys last one. Let's give everyone a chance to respond.
Oh, hey, first of all, that man, hey, whoever in the comment section that said that John Idol looks like your lesbian neighbor, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. You wrong for that. I look at lesbian neighbor. What the hell? You wrong.
God.
And not the cute lesbian neighbor, the other one. That's the worst part. Sorry, I just can't. Yo, your comment section is wild, bro.
I love the comment section here.
RBN community is base as hell. We base as hell.
Yeah, it's always fun.
It was a very fun show. Any last thoughts, Misty? This is the next segment we're gonna get to. Actually, I should probably read some super chats so I don't get too behind. This is the next segment we're gonna cover.
Tabloids in the United Kingdom.
You guys hear it? Let me check. Yeah. Let me check the audio.
Yeah, we can.
Lambasting Mr. Biden's performance,
Yeah.
saying it was a.
All right, cool. So at least I know it works.
I got 15. I got 15 minutes still. By the way, just letting y'all know.
All right, cool.
So we're good.
I'm good. I don't have anything till 4:40.
Yeah, let's read a few super chats and then we'll get to the last segment here. They were $5. Virtuoso. Biden needed the adrenaline dealer from Pope.
Yeah.
They for $2. Perry Stein. They debate about golf next. Pickleball. Vote Joe Stein.
Pickleball.
Well said.
We're
doing one for Perry. Bolivia stopped coup. Kenya stopped Ruto. The people are winning. The CIA is stretching themselves out too thin.
Yeah.
They sent too much money to Ukraine and Taiwan. Spend too much time in now they're not, and plus people are picking up on their CIA coup tactics. But let's move on for a second time. And Nick, I'll pass to you for a last thought because I know you're probably busy, so I'll pass to you before we get to the next segment so you get out of here. After we get through the last few super chats. Then for $10, Mark reminds me of Gulliver Travels. The candidates have to walk a tightrope, juggle, stand on one foot to show how with it they are.
Draw a clock. I want Biden to draw a clock.
$5 Master, they got some nerve for shaming Hamas. Oh, bro, just wait till you hear what Biden said about Hamas. And one thing that the Biden team is doing to spin his horrible performance is they saying, oh, well, look at all the lies that Trump told during the debate, which he did. But guys, there is not one lie that Trump said last night that was greater than the lie that Joe Biden said about Hamas when he said Hamas didn't agree with the ceasefire, but Israel did. That is greater than any lie that Trump told. Biden telling the lie that UNRWA was complicit with Hamas on October 7th is a greater lie than anything that Donald Trump ever told, my friend, because that enabled the starvation of thousands of children. There are 30,000 plus Palestinians that are on the brink of starvation based on low number Western estimates. And that is directly because of the lies that Joe Biden told. There is not a single lie that Trump has ever told, which there are many. Trump has told many lies, but there is no lie that he's ever told that is consequential as the lies that Joe Biden has said over the last 3 years. But
Yep.
Niko, go ahead.
I was going to say that it directly contradicts what Joe Biden said, like not even 2 weeks ago, that there was no actual ceasefire deal being considered by Israel. That was fake. That was fake news. That America wasn't tracking it. So to say that Hamas didn't agree to something that didn't exist all of a sudden is preposterous. Because Biden's administration said they weren't, because everybody thought there was, because remember with Bree, with the situation with Bree, what was that? I don't want to call none crazy. What was the sister of that hostage saying? She was purporting that there was a ceasefire deal on the table. I said that day, that's bullshit. Because first of all, she was out there saying what she didn't know because she's not a political expert. And we also know Israel only lies, they never tell the truth. And instead of a ceasefire deal that was supposedly imminent, we got a massive bombing operation to rescue 4 hostages or whatever the hell. No, that was even before, I think. They did another operation after that. So she went from ceasefire deal on the table to they're getting 200 people killed. There's 200 people killed like 2 days later. So like there was no ceasefire deal on the table. And so for Joe Biden to tell that lie, like you said, stop pretending like any lie that Trump says is somehow uniquely diabolical as compared to the lies that Joe Biden tells, which has gotten us locked into a genocide.
He lies about stupid shit. Like he would say, "I'm the best golf player of all."
Yes.
Obviously a lie, but it doesn't mean anything. His lies.
I mean, listen, he lies about important shit too. Let's not give him a pass. He absolutely does lie about important shit too. But when you're trying to pretend like, because I'm seeing this all over social media today, that Biden might be old, but at least he tells the truth. Really, he saw 40 beheaded babies, right? That's what he told us all on national television, correct? Mm-hmm. He saw 40 beheaded babies. I mean, how many lies has he told to that degree? That's disgusting. To lie about seeing photographs of 40 beheaded babies in order to justify a genocide is one of the most vile and reprehensible things I can think of. So no, he's not a truth teller. He's not honest. He's not out there, up against the crazy con man who always lies. He also always lies. It's absurd.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Martin Luther King, y'all. He marched with Martin Luther King. He marched with Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he did.
He said it.
Well, but Niko, before you get out here, any last thoughts you want to, anything else you want to plug?
Basically, I feel like for the people who keep saying, like you said, they're prioritizing beating Trump, and trying to use Palestine and Israel as the reason why, in some cases, in a lot of cases recently, y'all have to realize something. Joe Biden, last night, they announced that this fool about to send more bombs to Israel to drop on to Palestine. At the bare minimum, Trump has actually come out and said, yo, you're not handling this war well. And he's hinted multiple times, and if it's unpopular, because it's all about popularity and optics with Trump. And if it remains unpopular, just like he's challenged the war in Ukraine, I trust Trump and his ego to go against Netanyahu and his ego more than I trust whoever Biden's puppet masters are. Because at the end of the day, Trump gonna do whatever Trump want to do. And he is a PR demon. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want the optics of losing. And right now, as he said in the past, the war is dragging on too long. You don't have a goal in mind. Now he's starting this shit with Lebanon, and Netanyahu's unpopular. So what does Trump do whenever people become unpopular? He distances himself. So we can't be sure that, we know it's too Zionists, but to pretend like we should act like we're not seeing what we're actually seeing unfold with Biden because of this false narrative that somehow Trump is worse, we at the bare minimum is equal. Yeah. But the most positive spin on it is Trump is the most unpredictable motherfucker in the world. But the only thing that we can't predict is that he's going to satisfy his ego. And he's going to go for the best PR move. And Netanyahu right now is possibly next to Biden, the most unpopular politician. Okay, Biden, then Zelensky, then maybe Netanyahu, depending on who you ask. He's the most unpopular politician in the world. Why would Trump want proximity to that when he likes to maintain the image that everybody loves me and I only fuck with people, like I only rock with people who everybody loves. Right. So I just feel like it's a false narrative to put it out there that the priority should be beating Trump. The priority should be uprooting the system. The priority should be stop pretending like this system is legitimate. Stop pretending like you have a democracy when somebody had to pay $12.99 last fucking night to watch two people debate so they can make a decision about their country. Like, that's insane. Stop pretending like our election systems are legitimate. Stop pretending like we actually have free speech in this country when we just had to SCOTUS overturn some shit that allows people to be blocked. Shout out to Feed. Sorry, for those of you who don't know, Fiorella got removed from Twitter. Removed from YouTube. Her small channel that she had got removed from YouTube because she had the audacity to interview Scott Ritter. And her video went viral and people were starting to follow her. The same interview, by the way, that Scott Ritter has done with other people. But they're targeting Fiorella like they target people like me. They target people like Misty and people from the Assange movement from back in the day, like they target Assange, right? Let's not, like, they didn't have a single discussion about Assange last night. And this is, you're telling me that this case that y'all been rocking with for what, 7-8 years is not important enough to be discussed on the stage where y'all swear to God that free speech and democracy is under attack and is being threatened by Trump or is being upheld by Biden and his administration and the Democrats? Like, that wasn't important enough to discuss? No, the system is rotten at its core. It is rotten at its root. And validating it by pretending like electing one of these guys or the other is somehow going to change the trajectory that the puppet master set them on is ludicrous. And it's just insanity. I don't understand how people keep falling for the same fucking trick. Go do the work on the ground. Do the work on the ground.
Please.
And that's how you change the system. It ain't gonna be for voting.
I think the best way to change the system is not to vote on elections. Okay, so like in the whole country, nobody votes. Okay, and then you see what happens. Actually, nothing will change. Okay, that will show you. That will show you that there was no point in voting. Why all the drama? Okay. So because it's basically the 1% versus the 99%. So stop fighting, the liberals versus conservatives, whites versus blacks, gay versus straight. Nothing matters. It's actually the class war. 1% versus 99%.
Yes, and you cannot beat them at their own game. They can change the rules whenever they want to. That's not a thing that can happen. You going to vote does nothing. I mean, do it if you want, if it makes you feel good or whatever, but it's completely masturbatory. Don't SCOTUS case,
Misty, do you know that SCOTUS case? Do you know why that they decided to overturn a federal case about the censorship, or at least being pressed to censor? That so basically the Biden administration was pressing people to censor and remove content and creators during not only the elections but during COVID. Okay, the Louisiana's court said like, nah, y'all can't do that shit. It is extremely difficult, guys, to overturn a federal court case. And if it's overturned, there is a legitimate reason as to why. But the only reason that they overturned it, well, there's two reasons. One, they said that there was no proof that anybody was actually harmed. But the federal original case said, no, they violated the Constitution. There doesn't have to be any harm done to violate the Constitution. If you violate the Constitution, the damage is irrelevant. It's just if you broke the law or not. It's just like if I got caught speeding, do I get the speeding ticket? If I hit somebody? No. Do I get a reckless driving ticket? If I hit somebody, that doesn't matter. It can make matters worse, but the damage doesn't matter if I broke the law anyway. And that's what, so they flipped it and said, well, nah, nobody got harmed. But that wasn't even the case that was being made, nor did that have anything to do with the decision that was made by the federal judge. Then they threw it out on procedural matters. They overturned precedents on the First Amendment, on the executive branch putting pressure on private industries regarding free speech over fucking procedural shit. That is unheard of.
Yeah,
insane law. Go ahead, Lynn.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying that's
unheard of. Make a hotspot video on that later because I saw that Supreme Court decision you're talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah. That is unheard of. You don't rip up precedents from a federal court because of procedural bullshit. At the bare minimum, you send it back down like, hey, y'all got to figure this out. show how they have standing and then leave it at that, or say we don't have enough information to overturn it. But they were like Missy said, they're inventing rules, like they did with the DNC fraud lawsuit, like they did with this SCOTUS shit, like they did even with Trump. Everybody says that, oh, if he actually did